Crack in Wanapum Dam reminds citizens of the past and have them concerned for the present. In 2014, Wanapum Dam in Vantage, Washington was discovered to have a crack. Concerned for the structure's stability, the water was lowered to reduce pressure while the damage was investigated. During the long 11-week inspection, the river pressure past the dam was significantly lowered, about 26 feet, which led to a rare glimpse of the bottom of the river in some parts, which had not been exposed for almost half a century, and reminded citizens of their past. So how did we get to this area? How did this area form in the first place? 15 to 17 million years ago, basaltic lava rose up from fractures from down below repeatedly. It covered about 50,000 square mile area, up to 4,000 feet thick, creating the Columbian Basin Plateau. Around the same time, the Cordilleran ice sheet was formed and rose and retreated over the years, which created more force for the river to carve its way to the ocean. The melted ice released sand and silt, which flowed over the eastern plateau. Montana had an ice dam, 2,000 feet high, which blocked the melting ice water and created a very large lake that broke and had ice and water which flowed to the Pacific Oceans over the basaltic plateau and created canyons. Water, sand, gravel, and ice with boulders flowed through. Ice dams flowed and failed repeatedly and created repeated floods. These are named the Missoula floods. The Wanapum Dam first operation started in 1963 by the Grant County Public Utility District to create hydroelectric power to the country. One consequence was that the water level rose and the original town of Vantage, Washington needed to move to higher grounds. In February of 2014, a 65-foot-long fracture was discovered on one of its 13 Wanapum Dam spillway pier monoliths. Water pressures behind the dam was lowered for 11 weeks while an investigation took place. The dam was later reinforced in the spillway with post-tension anchors, metal rods, before the water pressure rose again. Lowered water pressure exposed the river's edges that had not been exposed in half a century. This offered a rare glimpse of how the river was before the dam, back before the 1960s. The Grand PUD closed entrances to the beach and boat launches to protect wildlife and human life. Multiple people needed to be rescued after soft soil materials created a quicksand-type danger, until the hot summer created sun-cracked mud. A World War II grenade was found and later safely detonated, and 2 skeletal remains were found, believed to be of Native American descent. Fortunately, there was no fatalities during this process. However, there was significant effects to the local economy. Some fruit farmers that relied on the lower Columbia River water for irrigation purposes found their crops vulnerable. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife annual delivery of 2,000 spring Chinook salmon was disrupted that year. The Chinook salmon are listed as threatened under the Federal Endangered Species Act. The same town of Vantage relied heavily on the seasonal tourism when conditions are right to enjoy boating, fishing, and water sports in the Columbia River. This was affected in the summer of 2014. These events led to some social impact. The 2 skeletal remains of Native Americans brought into questions how to move forward that would satisfy both tribal and researchers' wishes. During the time that the water was lowered, several boat launches were also repaired that saved money and prevented environmental damages in need of repair that didn't need to be disturbed in the first place. The unique crack of the dam led experts to gain knowledge and explore alternatives that can be used in other events. This unique event was frightening, but brought the long-forgotten past to the present, and it will be remembered for futures to come.